God. Ask God.
Hi, Scott. It's Al from Ontario, Canada. I have a question regarding trademarking. As far as I know, the R with the circle around it is a registered trademark symbol, and the TM that you sometimes see is an unregistered trademark label. Wondering if I'm not going to spend the loot right now for the R with the circle, if it's worth just putting the TM, and if that's allowed. To me, if I see the TM, it looks a little more credible and professional. And if it's, even though it's unregistered, I figure might as well put the TM. Just wondering your thoughts on the TM and if you know any of the rules regarding trademark symbols. Thanks for your podcast and take care.
Hey, Al, thank you so much for the question. And you guys know what I'm going to say. And Al, you probably know what I'm going to say right now. Little disclaimer here. I am not an attorney, a legal advisor, none of that stuff, right? Brody was once in his life, but he is retired and he's sleeping and he has a tough time speaking English as of right now. But anyway, all jokes aside, trademark and registered trademark, you're right. There's different symbols for different, I guess, approvals and all of that stuff, right? But again, I don't know much about that. What I do know is that I interviewed Ted Limas on episode 186, and we talk all about trademarks, copyrights, patents, all that stuff. And if I remember correctly, again, I'd go back and listen to that episode. But what I do remember him saying is that once you more or less make yourself I guess identified as a certain brand and you have some markings clearly on your website or a domain, even if you're in the stages where you haven't been approved yet, there's still a track record. So I don't think there's anything wrong with, and again, this is me, saying for me personally, I wouldn't have a problem if I applied for a trademark and I haven't gotten the approval yet. If I was to put that on there, I don't think that's a big deal. But I also don't think that it's a big deal that you think that you have to put something on there right now because people are going to go in there and steal your trademark or your copyright or any of that stuff, right? So I know a lot of people get hung up on this and they don't want to launch or release until they have this stuff in place. I think you should probably get it in motion if you're worried about that. But I don't think putting a TM or a circle, an R with the circle is really going to make that much of a difference. Could it make, potential threats or hijackers think twice about it? Maybe, but usually those guys don't care. They're just going to go after you anyway. And if they start to get an attorney following up or any of that stuff, then they'll deal with it then. So I would say contact your attorney. Ask what they think. That would be number one. Number two, listen to episode 186, or maybe listen to 186 and then maybe contact an attorney, right? I know Ted Limas is more than happy to answer questions, so you can always reach out to him. Again, that's 186. We go into great depth about that and what that all means, because a lot of times we just don't even understand what it means. But I would say this, anyone that is getting started, a lot of times we kind of stunt our growth, if you will, because we worry about these things, right? We're not talking about possibly infringing on a trademark. That's different, right? That's where I'd be cautious, right? But for me to say, well, I don't want to launch or I don't want to, put my stuff out there publicly yet because it's not trademarked or I don't have the official symbol, or I think that if I have that symbol, it's gonna prevent me being hijacked. I just don't believe that. I see people getting hijacked all the time that have patents, that have trademarks, that have registered trademarks. So I, again, would just, just keep that in mind. But again, this is just my take on it. And like I said, I would reach out to Ted or an attorney, ask them their thoughts on your situation, because I think everyone's situation is going to be a little bit differently. But I think to put the TM on there, if I can remember correctly, I think I'm pretty sure that you can put it on there if you have one in the works. So anyway, hopefully this has helped you or anyone else listening. And really, I think for me is to get anyone out of that mindset that they have to have this stuff done before they move forward. Because a lot of times that can prevent you. So, all right, that's going to wrap up that question. Hopefully that was helpful, Al. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.